Grady, can I see you for a minute in the kitchen?
You wouldn't disturb a master chef in his moment of glory.
He said, then you don't know. Redd had a full page, front page on Variety that said that this is it. He's not going to do it after this season. He's quitting. And I was wounded.
Wait a minute. If you lost your memory, how did you remember that I bought a car? You didn't even know who I was.
Demond Wilson is finally telling the truth about why Redd Foxx left Hollywood at the age of 79. Back in the 1970s, Sanford and Son was breaking records in Los Angeles, with Foxx as the loud, sharp-tongued king of the junkyard, and Wilson as his calm, patient son, Lamont. But it wasn't all laughter and comedy for Demond.
I think you have a few more words to say now. What are you talking about? Police car just pulled up there.
Behind the cameras, Wilson faced the shock of learning Foxx quit through a news anchor, the pressures of stepping into bigger roles, rumors about Foxx's tensions with co-stars, witnessing his pay cut, and the personal struggle of balancing fame with faith and family.
They cut his salary down $5,000. He was making $10K in Vegas.
Let's get into the full story. Redd Foxx wasn't born with a silver spoon, but he knew how to make people laugh from a young age. In the 1940s and 1950s, he was traveling the Chitlin circuit, performing in clubs that were packed with black audiences hungry for bold, honest comedy. His style was raw, raunchy, blue humor, so explicit that for years, white audiences couldn't find his records in stores.
What in the world would make you think you could make a television star out of Redd Foxx? Because his act was definitely X-rated.
By the 1960s, though, things started to change. His comedy albums were slowly appearing in mainstream record stores, giving him a bigger fan base and opening doors to TV appearances. He was on Toast of the Town, known as The Ed Sullivan Show, and later on, The Red Skelton Show. People were noticing him. By the early 1970s, a new sitcom was in the works. It was called Sanford and Son, a reworking of a British show called Steptoe and Son. Foxx was cast as Fred G. Sanford, a cranky junkyard owner in Watts, Los Angeles, who could insult anyone at any moment but somehow make it funny. Alongside him was a young actor named Demond Wilson, playing Lamont, Fred's level-headed, hard-working son. The two were an odd pair, but chemistry doesn't lie.
In answer to that, the man's a clown. Yeah. He didn't have to be scatological to be funny. He thought so.
What about Demond Wilson? Where'd you find him?
Demond Wilson was on an All in the Family show.
From day one, the show clicked. Fans couldn't get enough of Fred and Lamont, and the ratings soared. Fox's sharp-tongued humor mixed with Wilson's steady calm created a perfect balance. Behind the cameras, Wilson described their relationship as starting like a mentor to father and son. Over time, it shifted to more of an older brother-younger brother dynamic. He admired Foxx, learned from him, and, like many viewers, was drawn to his larger-than-life personality. Even in the early seasons, Fox's ambition and ego were obvious. He wanted to break boundaries, to make a show that wasn't just funny, but also honest about the black experience. Some fans think that's why he clashed with producers later, but in these first years, the magic was undeniable. Sanford and Son became a household name. The show wasn't just entertainment, it was a cultural milestone. It broke stereotypes and gave audiences a new look at black life on television.
So that's how we met Demond Wilson.
Now, that was quite a departure. There wasn't much precedent for two black men to be starring in a primetime network television series.
Wilson has often said that being on set with Foxx was a mix of excitement and tension. Foxx could be unpredictable, commanding attention, sometimes late, sometimes faking dramatic antics for laughs. But the bond between the two actors was real, even if it wasn't perfect. As the episodes rolled out, viewers were laughing at the antics on screen, but no one outside knew how the dynamic off-screen was slowly starting to set the stage for the challenges ahead. By the end of the first season, it was clear that Foxx and Wilson were not just actors on a show, they were part of television history. Their chemistry, combined with Fox's raw, fearless style and Wilson's calm, grounding presence, made Sanford and Son unforgettable. But as much as everyone loved watching Fred and Lamont, the behind-the-scenes story was just beginning, and it wasn't always funny. By 1974, Sanford and Son was a hit, but not everything behind the cameras was smooth. Redd Foxx, who had always been ambitious and outspoken, ran into problems with his contract. Some fans think he was tired of feeling boxed in, and even though nothing is proven, all evidence suggests he wanted more control and better pay for his work.
I used to hear the stories about Redd Foxx wants a raincoat with a window in it, whatever the hell he wanted.
Very difficult personality.
Fans say Fox had walked off the show because he felt the producers weren't valuing the black experience on TV enough. Whatever the exact reason, the result was the same. Fox disappeared, at least temporarily. One day, he just walked away from the set. For the crew, the cast, and especially Demond Wilson, it was shocking. Wilson later recalled that he found out about Fox leaving the show in a way nobody expected. Instead of a conversation between co-stars, he heard it through a news anchor in the hallways of NBC. That moment stuck with him.
Be like a man coming home, like I said before, and calling to his wife, and she's not there, and on the sink, on the counter, is divorce papers. And he said, oh, wait a minute, last night we just...
Some conspiracy theories reveal that Fox wanted to make a statement by leaving so suddenly, showing he could control his own career path. During Fox's absence, Wilson had to step up. The producers filmed episodes without Fred Sanford, and Lamont became more central. Wilson has said that being thrust into that spotlight was challenging, but it gave him a chance to grow as an actor. He was no longer just the calm son keeping his father in check. He became the anchor of the show, showing fans that the series could survive even without Fox for a while.
My tailgate is fastened. And besides, I gotta get this house clean. With your father still away in St. Louis, I have to take charge of things just like he said.
Backstage, tensions simmered. Fox was known for being demanding, and some say he had a giant ego. He wanted the recognition, the best dressing rooms, and more creative input than the producers were willing to give. Wilson has mentioned in interviews that despite the conflict, there was a real sweetness to their relationship. But moments like this tested it. Even though nothing is fully confirmed, all evidence points towards a mixture of personal pride, professional ambition, and contract frustrations as the reasons behind Fox's walkout. Eventually, Fox returned. Ratings were high, and the chemistry between Fred and Lamont was too strong to ignore. But the cracks were still there. Pay disputes, creative disagreements, and Fox's larger-than-life personality meant that the show's ending in 1977 was not just about the natural course of a series. It was also about unresolved tensions between star and producers.
They cut his salary down $5,000. He was making $10K in Vegas.
Some fans think that Fox's departures from Hollywood after this period were a continuation of the same pattern. A man who refused to be constrained, even if it meant leaving behind a successful show. Wilson, meanwhile, was dealing with things on his own path. He had to balance admiration for Fox with frustration over the surprises and conflicts. Behind the laughter and the junkyard antics, there was a complicated friendship evolving. Wilson later wrote about this in his memoir, Second Banana: The Bittersweet Memoirs of the Sanford and Son Years, reflecting on the moments of disappointment, the unspoken feelings, and the moments of genuine love and mentorship. For fans, the episodes were hilarious, but behind the scenes, it was clear that the relationship between the two stars, the producers, and the pressures of Hollywood were creating a storm. The temporary disappearance of Redd Foxx was more than a contract issue. It was a glimpse into the man's personality, ambition, and the challenges of being a black comedian dealing with the television world of the 1970s. After Sanford and Son, Redd Foxx didn't slow down, but life off-screen became complicated. Lots of fans think he had it all: millions of dollars in earnings, fame, and a place in television history, But even though nothing is fully confirmed, all evidence suggests his finances were a disaster. Foxx reportedly made up to $4 million in a single year, but by the late 1970s and early 1980s, the IRS was knocking at his door. By 1989, he owed nearly $1 million plus penalties. They seized his Las Vegas home, multiple cars, even cash and guns. He had declared bankruptcy in 1983, but the proceedings dragged on for years.
Tax, property tax, every year. Redd would file, but he never, ever paid. And they called him down to the IRS office.
Even though he was earning a fortune, Foxx lived large. He bought exotic cars, had a big house, and spent freely. Some biographers say he didn't prioritize long-term financial planning, which made the tax and money problems worse. Fans online often speculate that the lavish lifestyle, combined with management issues, is what made Hollywood seem like a trap he wanted to escape from. At the same time, Foxx kept working. He tried variety shows like The Redd Foxx Show in 1986, but it lasted only one season.
This is the big one. No disrespect intended, Your Majesty, but for 5 years I've been saying, "Here I come, Elizabeth."
He acted in movies, including Norman, Is That You? And later, Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor in 1989.
Make some tuna then.
Harlem Nights brought him back into the spotlight, showing that even decades after Sanford and Son, he was still a force in comedy. But each project came with ups and downs. Fans point out that his comebacks were always shadowed by his unpredictable behavior and personal problems. Foxx's personal life was no less complicated. He was married 4 times, and his relationships were often turbulent.
His longest marriage was to showgirl Betty Jean Harris, whom he wed in 1956.
After his death, legal disputes erupted over his estate. His 4th wife, Ka Ho Cho, accused his adopted daughter of mismanaging royalties and estate funds. Some conspiracy theories online even suggest mismanagement affected Foxx's posthumous fame. Drug use also played a part in his story. CBS News reported that Foxx openly used cocaine, allegedly carrying a cocaine spoon around his neck and sometimes using it during table reads or on set. It wasn't publicized through arrests or headlines, but it was part of the personal chaos surrounding him.
Redd and I were just 2 actors that came together. He never gave me no money. I never gave him any money. Money, women, drugs never came between us.
Combined with his demanding personality, he famously faked heart attacks, insisted on golf carts on set, and demanded special treatment. Foxx became a figure of fascination and concern.
Elizabeth, I'm coming, honey. I know I'm coming this time. I can see my tombstone.
Hollywood didn't always appreciate his genius. Despite pioneering black comedy and influencing generations, he often felt under-recognized. He fought with writers and producers, insisting there weren't enough black voices behind the scenes. Fans online suggest these frustrations, combined with his ego and personal struggles, might explain why he disappeared from Hollywood at times. Even as he faced all these issues, financial, personal, and professional, Foxx never lost his comedic spark. The internet still buzzes about how he could go from outrageous humor on stage to vulnerability in real life. By the late 1980s, Foxx was on a path to redemption, but the stage was shifting. Health problems were beginning to appear, and the pressures of fame, money, and Hollywood's demands were catching up with him. It was a complicated mix that would eventually lead to the mystery fans still talk about: why Redd Foxx seemed to disappear, leaving even his close co-star, Demond Wilson, with unanswered questions. By the late 1970s, life for Demond Wilson was changing. Sanford and Son had ended in 1977, and though he had been part of one of television's biggest hits, Wilson didn't stay in Hollywood the way Foxx did. Some fans think it was just the end of a show, but all evidence points toward something deeper. Wilson had been thinking about faith for years. He felt that the friendships in Hollywood weren't real, just associates from work, as he later explained. Wilson had started considering ministry as early as the 3rd season of Sanford and Son. Back then, he was learning about life, about people, and about himself. Being on set with Fox had been thrilling, yes, but also draining.
I was living in a huge house behind gates, and I had cars and money, and then I said, why am I not happy? I know women are supposed to be happy, but I wasn't even content.
Fox was unpredictable, loud, and demanding. Behind the laughter, Wilson saw the pressures and the personal struggles Fox faced, and he realized he wanted a different path for his own life. So Wilson shifted. He left acting to become an evangelist, focusing on faith-based media and writing. It wasn't a fallback or a sudden decision. It was a choice he had been preparing for quietly. He wanted stability, honesty, and purpose, things he felt Hollywood couldn't give him.
I started to write, and it all opened up for me.
Even though nothing is proven, all evidence suggests this shift also helped him process the complicated relationship he had with Fox. Despite moving away from the spotlight, Wilson's thoughts often returned to Fox. They had shared history, laughter, and conflict, but their paths had drifted. The last time Wilson saw Fox in person was around 1983 at Fox's office. Wilson described the meeting as less than affable.
Could you set it up? I said, well, I'm going to tell you something. I haven't spoken to Redd in 5 years. I said, but if you got, they kept hounding me. I said, okay, I'll get in touch with him.
Fox wasn't warm, and the easy camaraderie they had on set seemed gone. Some conspiracy theories reveal that Fox was tired, overworked, or frustrated with the industry, and that this meeting reflected his detachment.
Hounding me. I said, okay, I'll get in touch with him. I said, but I got to tell you, this is not going to be a day at the beach. Fox is not who you might think he's going to be.
Wilson admitted he was hurt. He forgave Fox, but he never forgot that he had learned about Fox quitting Sanford and Son through a news anchor, not directly from his co-star. That moment stayed with him, a bittersweet memory of the complexities behind the scenes. Even though they had loved working together, Fox's sudden moves and unpredictability left Wilson feeling overlooked. While Wilson pursued ministry, Fox continued to struggle in Hollywood, moving from one project to another, battling financial troubles, and dealing with personal and professional crises. Wilson kept in touch only through news and public appearances, but he carried the weight of their shared history. Some fans online think the tension and estrangement were the main reasons Fox's disappearance from Hollywood seemed so sudden. The drift between the two men wasn't just about personalities, it was about timing, ambition, and life choices. Wilson chose a life of faith, focus, and clarity, stepping away from Hollywood's chaos. Fox, on the other hand, kept fighting the system, chasing comebacks, and dealing with personal demons. Their once strong bond became quiet, punctuated by memories, interviews, and the occasional public mention. By the time Demon Wilson reached his late 70s, he felt it was finally time to talk openly about Redd Foxx and the real story behind his disappearance from Hollywood. Fans had speculated for decades, and rumors had swirled online. Some conspiracy theories reveal that Fox walked away because of money. Some said it was creative frustration, and others guessed it was personal issues. Even though nothing is proven, all evidence points toward a mix of all those factors, and Wilson confirmed much of it himself. Wilson reflected on their years together with honesty. He admitted that working with Fox had been exhilarating, challenging, and unforgettable. On set, Fox could be larger than life, unpredictable, and sometimes difficult. But he was also brilliant, funny, and a trailblazer who opened doors for black actors and comedians in Hollywood. Sanford and Son wasn't just a show, it was history in the making, and Fox's influence on comedy still resonates today. When Wilson finally shared his perspective publicly, he spoke about the bittersweet nature of their friendship.
I'm not here to smudge his image. I never have. In my book, Second Banana, The Bittersweet Memoirs of the Sanford and Son Years, bittersweet because life with anybody is not always sweet.
He remembered the mentor to father, then older brother, younger brother dynamic. He loved Foxx, but he was also hurt by moments like learning about Foxx quitting Sanford and Son through a news anchor. That kind of thing leaves a mark. Wilson forgave him, but the memory stayed. It's one of those real-life complexities fans never see when they laugh at reruns. Wilson also addressed the idea of Foxx disappearing. He said Foxx's walkouts, financial struggles, and personal battles all contributed. Fans often think Foxx just vanished without explanation, but Wilson made it clear Foxx didn't disappear by accident. He was making choices, sometimes impulsive, sometimes strategic, and often shaped by his own frustrations with Hollywood. Some people online even speculate that his health and lifestyle choices played a role, and Wilson doesn't dismiss those ideas entirely.
He showed out, not up. He showed out, and not in a nice way.
Despite all the challenges, Foxx's legacy is undeniable. He inspired a generation of comedians, from Eddie Murphy to Richard Pryor, and even today, his influence is visible in how black comedy is performed and perceived.
What's going on?
Hello.
Next week.
Wilson emphasized that the history they made together on Sanford and Son mattered, not just for the laughs, but for breaking barriers. Foxx wasn't just funny, he changed television. Wilson's reflection wasn't just about nostalgia. He wanted people to understand the man behind the jokes. Someone brilliant but flawed, ambitious but burdened by struggles, and fiercely independent in an industry that often tried to control him. The story of Foxx's disappearance from Hollywood is complicated, filled with talent, drama, conflict, and resilience. Wilson's candid sharing adds layers to a narrative fans have wondered about for decades.